Now we'll be calculating the percentages of given decimal amounts, and yes, we'll be able to use a calculator for these problems, which makes everything so much easier. Okay, the only thing you really need to know straight off the bat, just so you can get an idea of how to do these, is that the word of means multiplied or times. Okay, once you have that, you kind of know how you can go about solving these problems. So here we go, 12% of 34.5. Now this is very much the same way that you would get a percentage of a whole number. Because you've got a calculator, it's very simple. So it's just 12 multiplied by the amount, which is 34.5. Then you push the percent button, equals, and there you have your answer. So in this case, the answer is 4.14. And that's as simple as it gets, really. You may be asked to round, right? So you might be asked to round to 1 decimal point. If you are asked to round to 1 decimal point in this case, so 4.14, you go to the first decimal place, that becomes your target place value, so cut it off there. This becomes your indicator number, the very next place value to the right. In this case, it's from 0 to 4, which is small in other words. So if it's 0 to 4, this target digit stays exactly as it is. In this case, it is small, so rounded to 1 decimal place would be 4.1. Okay, so let's move on to the second question. And it's 95, so just type it in. 95 times the amount, 250.2. Push the percent, push the equals, and there's your answer. So it really isn't very difficult at all if we're using our calculator. So 237.69. Again, I'll go through the process of rounding just in case. It's always useful to be able to round. So 1 decimal place, if it was rounding to 1 decimal place, it would be 237.69. This is kind of useful because this is an awkward bit of rounding. Cut it off here. Here's the indicator digit right here. It's big, so this one, in other words, it's greater than 4. This has to be forced up to 7, and there you go. We don't need that digit anymore. So if I was rounding to 1 decimal place, the answer would be 237.7. And that pretty much is as complicated as this particular skill is. However, what you should get into the habit of, on the fly, you don't need to make a big deal out of it, but just have a quick check. So for example, is my answer reasonable? So if I've got 4, essentially 4.14, rounded off to 4 if you like, does that make sense? Is that 12% of 34? Well, there's a lot of ways to do it. 50%, so that's about 17. So yes, my answer is a long way from 17. You could do it like a quarter of 34. Well, I don't know about a quarter of 34, but I can certainly make a quarter of 32, just round 34 off to 32. And a quarter of that, if I divide 32 by 4, I get 8. And that would be 25%, right? 25% is 8. Now, I don't need 25, I need 12%. So again, just halve it, and there you go. It's pretty close, okay? This one over here, 95%. Well, 95, all I need to do is, okay, that's nearly 100. Is my answer very close to 100%, which is 250.2? It is pretty close, so these seem reasonable answers to me. So, finished and done.